people, we always liked New York as a big city. There's not a better big city than New York.
Where was Shea Stadium in regards to the billboard sign in time?
In time? You would have to ask me that, Joe. I have not a clue.
Okay.
That's the flighty thing about being creative. You just kind of, you know, some things because you heard it so many times. But most of the time I have people that are very competent at what they do around me so that they can do that part for me. I have to stay in tune with, you know, the spirit and to be creative, you know, for writing and songs and to just stay in the feel of things. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I need to have people back me up because if I don't, all would be lost.
We were talking about the creative process a little earlier, and people see Mark Farner, people from the outside looking in, see Mark Farner as a religious man, a musician, a songwriter, but I think they think of you as someone who's just very studious, and you were telling me earlier that you are sometimes flighty.
Oh, sometimes, yes. Ask my wife. Yeah, I think...
Does she find your keys for you?
Oh, she finds everything for me. I go, honey, where'd I put my underwear? She says, you got them on. You know, it's like, where are your glasses? On top of your head. You know, oh.
But you need that kind of a partnership because especially an artist and a musician, this is very important stuff. To create hit records and things that people appreciate years and years later, you just have to be a little out there. Can I say that?
Absolutely, yes. And as far as my wife, you know, she's 13 years younger than I am. Like I said, she keeps me younger, but she's also so far beyond her years in her mind because she strategizes, and for my health's sake, I'm not in too bad a shape. I feel pretty good for, you know, as young as I am, and I owe it all to her. I just, you know, I really lucked out on that one. I'd be 24 years in January.
Wow. And when you met her, was she a fan of Grand Funk?
She didn't even, well, she did know about Grand Funk because her sisters had the posters on their bedroom walls.
Oh, that's funny.
But they had the what is it, the survival poster that came, you know, with a caveman and the loincloths and stuff. And she used to say how disgusted she was when she'd walk by as a, you know, she was just a young gal and look at that stuff. And like I said, I married her when she was 16. I started dating her when she was 15. With the consent of her parents. And
but that's still risky.
Oh, absolutely. But I laid it all on the line because I had never felt, and I have never felt, and doubt if anyone could ever feel. I mean, this was a connection that was God appointed.
And it's wonderful. You still feel that way today.
Absolutely.
That is so great.
It is wonderful. It's better. You know, because I think every man, Joe, needs to feel that release of that love that he holds, and he wants to give every speck of it. He doesn't want anything left behind back there where, you know, it could be just rotting away. He wants to invest it, and in order to make that investment, you got to trust that woman, and I really trust this woman, and that's what makes our relationship that and compromise, because, you know, I can't always be right. Dang it.
What did your wife think when she saw her first grandchild?
Oh, she lost it. She was just crying her eyes out. She's a very sentimental woman, this gal. She loves them kids. And we finally got a girl, a granddaughter.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, whose daughter is the granddaughter?
My son, Joseph, and he is the 19-year-old. He'll be 20, December 23rd.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very good, Mark.
Figure. And Rebecca, she's Korean. So my grandbabies are Amerasian. And
wow.
I just love them to death. I just was over there eating hamburgers with them. Their dad cooked out on the grill, and Grandpa sat back there and held the babies. And Ariana's got these little teeny butterfly lips that you just have to kiss, you know. They say, kiss me.
So the kids know Dad's been on the road all their lives.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and some people would say to the detriment, you know, musicians go out and they stay away from their families. But my kids always prayed for me. My wife always explained to them, and they always knew, and we were connected. I call 2 or 3 times a day, even now, because my son Jesse, my 12-year-old, he's riding a dirt bike around and stuff, and I always ask him how he's doing and how high he's jumping. Is he getting any air? And he's into snowboarding, and we live in northern Michigan there. And we've maintained a closeness, even though I've been on the road a lot and I've had to be, out because of my profession. The love that we have, and a lot of it is because we spend time together as a family. We cut the cable on the television 10 years ago and never hooked it back up, so we don't have commercial television, and we're not under the influence of that, which has really been an asset to our inner peace and who we are, and to hear the still small voice of our conscience and of God speaking to us. You can't have your ears full of crap all the time. You can't get in a car and turn on a radio, go in a hotel room and hit the TV button. I mean, everywhere you go, there's noise, 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 and under the influence of all these other voices. And I wanted to just get in touch with, the center of who I am, and that still small voice to save our family, to pull something out of this. And I think it was the best move I ever made in my life, Joe. I'm not kidding you. And I mean, I do watch a little video here and there, and if I'm on the road, I'll turn it on, but I can't stand commercials. I can't stand the way that they downplay human minds to think that, you got to fall for that crap to buy something. I mean, it's just...
And the extra volume in the commercial.
Oh, yeah, that too.
On radio and TV.
Yeah.
Which, even with the remote, when you're washing dishes, I mean, last night I had to literally go for the remote because...
You watch dishes, Joe?
Yeah. I actually do normal human things. I'm not... Some people think I'm chained to the typewriter.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, but the volume thing is, it's there. Absolutely.
But,
nuts.
All due respect, Mark, but you have caused a lot of parents a lot of...
Oh, yes.
So you like peace and quiet, yet you are the catalyst for their kids cranking the volume up.
Yeah, can you imagine that? What a contrast. You got to have contrast. You got to have...
My folks might not like you for this album because I liked it almost the best.
Do you see this cave back here, Joe? There, during the takes, this fire was going. It was pretty hot around there, and the sun was beating down. California, middle of the summertime. Mel and I went back into this cave here, and it comes out on the other side of the mountain. So we're in there, and he's got this thing boned over. We're in loincloths. I got this bloody thing I'm hanging on to, and we hear these voices. Well, little kids come walking through from the other side. I'm not kidding you. When they made the corner and got a load of us standing there, they screamed out, "Mom, Mom!" They run, beat feet.
Cavemen.
Yes, we were up there. We scared the tar out of them.
Where was that taken?
In Los Angeles, up above. It's in a park up there, county park.
Oh, that's too funny.
It's great.
Now, a lot of the critics were down on funk, undeservedly so, but this brought Grand Funk from hype to hip.
Absolutely.
This album.
Yep, I believe so too. I appreciate that.
My friend, the late Jimmy Miller, produced the original Gimme Shelter for the Rolling Stones. I thought this was one of the finest recreations of a song which didn't cop it, but added to it.
Yeah, thank you. And I like doing it live, too, because I don't know, there's something about it. There's a spirit in this song, what it's saying, And I think people want to unite for peace, and we want to unite for sanity, and we want to unite for truth above all else. And it's harder and harder as time goes on, as you well know, Joe, to find truth and to associate with truth. And so I think that's part of what makes, the guys that I hang out with, my musicians, even my crew, we have relationships that are based on truth. There's no BS. We are all just people. We don't raise ourselves up above. And I think that's that thing, the denominator, and that's that spirit that men have cried out with, and not just the Grand Funk albums, but there's a lot of people who've reached out with it, and in spite of what you're supposed to live up to as a rock and roll star, I think that has it's caused cult followings of various bands, and Grand Funk was definitely not the least of them.
I'm going to touch upon a sensitive subject. Jimmy Miller, the late Stones producer.